Welcome, everyone. Today, you are in for a treat. I don't know about you, but it is all about the time for us to be able to make more money. You know what I mean? I mean, seriously, we have been, you know, kind of put on the bottom of the totem pole as teachers when it comes to our, how much income we can make. And we still have to pay the same thing when it comes to buying a house or buying other things. Like people don't take that into consideration. But today, you are going to meet one of my friends, Vanessa Ann Miller, and she is going to help you tap into this higher mind of yours for a strategy that's your own unique process. And she is a business coach with a mission to empower women all over the globe to normalize financial freedom. She's helped countless clients create a consistent 10,000 plus month through healing their relationship with money, reframing their mindset, and implementing simplistic business strategies. She truly believes that with the right mindset, confidence, and solid strategy, that women can design the business of their dreams and attract a steady flow of income in the most authentic way. I am so excited to have Vanessa here. She also has the Aligned Businesswoman podcast. So if you haven't heard of her before, you haven't checked out her podcast, definitely check out her podcast. You'll notice on the latest episode that I was just recently featured as well. So you'll get to hear a little bit more of my story on her podcast. So welcome, Vanessa. Glad you're here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here. Oh my gosh, you do that so well. That's perfect.
Oh, this has been my passion to really serve tutors and teachers in their journey to being able to make more money. And that's exactly what you do. So I love being able to have people like you come on because I know that for me as a teacher in the beginning, I didn't have the right mindset when it came to money. I thought I had to work my butt off in order to make a ton of money. And I am so glad that today I get to do what I do because of people like you who've come before me and helped me open up my mindset to these new ways of thinking so that I can have the income that I really only could have dreamed of in the past. Seriously. So thank you for doing what it is that you do. We need more people doing this. I'm curious, tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey and how you got here.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that part about as being a teacher and having that mindset, because before I actually started doing the business strategy, the coaching, I actually had over 200 clients that were teachers, and I was a financial advisor. So I wasn't doing this, but I was helping them with their life insurance. I was helping them with their retirement, all the things. And you're right, when you're getting not paid for your worth, I guess, quote unquote worth, but you're not, your teachers do so much. They work long hours. They're, grooming and nurturing our kids. And I really do feel that they should be compensated a lot more. So when you're compensated not fully for, all the effort you put in, it does feel like there's some scarcity there. You can't help but think about just have a mindset of like, well, there's not that much, right? So I'm glad that you brought that up. And how I started was I was in financial services. I helped a lot of clients grow and protect their money. And I built a really great business with a team. I had a team lead. It was lots of fun. But there was something inside me that was like, I really want to have something that is my own. I don't want to work for a big insurance company anymore. I want to do something where I'm, I can say that I'm the CEO of this corporation. And so that started with me opening up a smoothie shop / fitness studio. That worked for a while. And then COVID hit, which was, I really do believe that God had this plan for me, because I found out I was pregnant and there was no way that I was going to be able to run those workout classes by myself. And then COVID hit, right? Our lease was done, COVID hit, and I was like, this is probably why I'm not supposed to be doing this anymore, because one, I wasn't gonna be able to do it by myself. And two, COVID made it impossible for businesses like mine, to be able to have a storefront. Anyways, I learned so much in all the things that I did. And I saw that as people that were coming into my facility and the people that I was networking with, they were all women entrepreneurs. And I noticed that there was lacking strategy on how to grow their business. They were excited about their business, but they didn't know the foundational pieces of how to build a business. And as I taught people and I, developed, the foundation of my own business through my own platform, I saw something else. It was the mindset that came, that I had seen with the teachers came back into view. And I was like, oh, there's a lot of underlying things of why they're not successful because they're in their heads. And so I started blending the mindset with the strategy. And I swear, when I did that, it healed me so much. And I noticed how it helps me heal helps my clients heal as well through the coaching that I do. So long story.
Yeah.
That was it.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I found too that as I was like growing like my online tutoring business, that I kept reading all of the personal development books, all about like mindset and money and rich dad, poor dad, and every single book I could get my hands on, The Secret, everything that was all about like manifesting and like how do I put these pieces into place in my own life. And I know it's more than just thinking it and just knowing that it's going to come on in. What is it that I need to do? And it was through the process that I started realizing that I had to start listening to my gut, because I was listening so much to my head and the thoughts that have been like pre-programmed into there since childhood, that when I started listening to my heart and following my heart and doing what I felt was the next best thing for me to do, the money followed. And
Mhm.
it was amazing when that began to happen. So I'm so glad that you realized that right out of the gate, that this mindset thing is what was holding people back. I've noticed that in my own coaching too, that I do with teachers and tutors, that it's the fear of, as well, we have another fear that comes on in, and it's the fear that I'm actually going down a step, because we were teachers. We went to school to become a teacher. We even went to get our masters, a lot of us, to do that. And now we're a tutor, which a high school kid can be. And I think that a lot of people think that other people are going to look at them and say, "Oh, you're a tutor." And so we have to deal with this like new title that is not necessarily where, like, what we're really at, what we can really do, because a lot of us can see the gaps and then know how to fill them, which a tutor can just really help with, like homework. But so I know that there's a lot of like mindset stuff that deals with even just that transition,
Mhm.
that people are dealing with. And wow, and we can make double the money what we made from teaching in the classroom. So I think that's amazing that we can do that. For people that are taking on a different position, I know like we have our self-worth built on who we are.
Mhm.
How do you make that transition from like identifying yourself as one thing and now identifying yourself as another? Because I know you were a financial aid person and now you're starting your own, business. What was that process like for you, or that process like for the people you serve?
Yeah, before we get into that, I wanted to like back up to what you were saying about like, being a teacher and, getting the certification and all the education to be that, and seeing that you're stepping down, quote unquote. But, there's a beautiful reframe there. You're not just a tutor, you are a business owner. And so there was a
Mm-hmm.
lot of reframes that I had to make myself when I transitioned to a financial advisor into owning my own business. And when I would think about some entrepreneurs, and I know that some people in maybe my family or other people might think of like, oh, you're an entrepreneur. That means like you're really not doing anything, right? Because there's like two different perspectives of entrepreneurs. It's like, oh, you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, you have all the money, give me money, donate to this, do that, right? Or you're an entrepreneur, oh, that means that you must be like not really making much money, right? Those are the two things that I have noticed when people step in, or like they see someone building a business. And so it's really about reframing some of the labels that you have allowed people to put on you and that you have put on yourself. There is this thing called logical levels of change. And a lot of times when we want to make a change in our business or in our life, we start with our habits. We start on the very low part of it. And so I love that you asked about the identity part, because the identity part is at the very, very top, or closer to the top of like how we perceive ourselves in order for us to fully embody the next level self. And so as we are wanting to transition to, teacher to tutor or business owner, really, we have to realize that we're not just changing our habits or our skills or our behaviors, but we have to allow ourselves to step in and really visualize that person that we want to be. And so as we're creating change, some of the things that help us really shift is visualization, because our subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what is real, imagined, or remembered. And so, you know how they say, fake it till you make it? I hate that, by the way. I hate saying that. But it's like you visualize something and you start to take the actions based on that visualization, and you become that person. And so it's more than just, again, the skills or the habits or the behaviors that you're taking so you can embody the next level. It's a whole spectrum of things. And in order for you to be able to change that identity, you have to start with the beliefs. And
Yes.
you would think like, okay, wait, well, I had to, but this is the top part, that become, the identities before or on top of the beliefs. But you're not going to be able to embody that if you believe that you're just a tutor, if you're just, you know what I mean? If you believe
Yes.
that you're stepping down, like you can't. So you have to reframe those thoughts. So.
Yes. And I think that's really a big piece of this entire process and what we're doing as we level up in our tutoring business. So if you guys haven't taken the quiz yet to find out what your level is at, there's a link inside of the description. Find out what your level is at, because you'll get checklists that will show you what actions do you need to take at this level. And it will help you with being able to take your business where you want to take it. And I think this is so important, because sometimes we're like, look, I don't need to change my mindset. I just need to get students, right? Like that's like where we begin. Like I just need to make money. You don't understand. I have bills to pay. I have a family to support. I have food to buy so that I can feed my family. And it's like, yes, but that is already starting at a poverty mindset, that there's not enough out there for me to make. And I have to hustle and I have to grind in order to make all of that money. What would your thoughts when somebody's in that mindset? What do you see that they need to reframe?
So there's this thing where we call toward language and away from language. And whatever you speak, your mind is like, your subconscious runs 95% of the show. So whatever you're unconsciously saying, because out of habit, you're going to program your subconscious mind to go after those things. I kind of think of it like Ella, I think it was Ella Enchanted, where she would they would say something and she would do it. Like she'd be like, jump, and she would just automatically jump, right? So think of your subconscious mind like that. So it's really, I understand what it feels like whenever you have a problem and you're only focused on the problem. But when we can focus on the solution and make that more in our awareness, then we can go towards that. So back to the towards and away from language, the more we talk about what we want to avoid, the more we put it into our awareness. I like to think of it like this, and I talk about this on my podcast. You know, in those scary movies where the hot chick is like running through the forest because the axe murderer is chasing her and she's all scared and frantic, and all she's worried about is not getting killed. And so as she's running through the dark forest, she's looking over her shoulders, right? She's like panicked, looking over her shoulders about what she wants to run away from, what she's avoiding, right? What ends up happening is she's not seeing where she's going. She falls on the branch and he ends up getting her anyway, right? So that's a lot like our language. As long as we're focused on what we don't run and we're looking over our shoulder and running from it, that can light a fire under our butt. Yes, great. But we also have to be looking towards where we want to go, what we want to be able to have, to keep our eye on the prize. And that is going to get us there a lot quicker than being stuck in the problem. We've got to be like, okay, I like to tap things out. I like to be like, even though this is a crappy situation or whatever, I know that I have the resources within me. I just need to wake up or something like that. I like to tap through those things and then reframe that and use any other kind of pattern interrupt to snap out of that trance that I'm in. So anyone can be able to do that. It's like, wait a minute, let me check this. Subconscious mind, delete, reject. That is not for me. This is for me. Show me all the resources available to me so I can be able to reach that goal.
Yes, I love that. And it is that forward thinking that you have to have. And a lot of us, when we get started, we're like, I just want to replace my income. That's a great goal. That's a great goal. Start there, right? Just start there. I just want to replace my income. I think that is fantastic. That's a starting point. That's not an ending point, but that's how far you can see right now. And so start there. That is a
Yeah.
huge goal, to never have to go back into the teaching world and deal with all of the stress and the anxiety. That is like what got me into doing what it is that I'm doing. And I was like, literally, I had 3 kids at home, like all under the age of 6. And I was like, oh Lord, if I could seriously just replace my income and never have to go back to school, that would be like amazing. So I just kept picturing that. And before I even became a tutor, I pictured myself right here in this exact spot that I'm sitting in right now, looking at the same exact direction at the computer that I'm looking at right now. This is like the freakiest thing when I look back on it. I remember being on my deck, sitting down on a chair, closing my eyes, and seeing this. And here I am. It worked. But of course, like you said, I had to listen to the guidance of what actions I needed to take
Hmm.
in order to get there.
Hmm.
And so you just have to listen to it one step at a time. You don't have to plan everything out 5,000 steps, but what's the next thing that I have to do? And then what's the next thing that I have to do? It's just one step at a time, and you're going to be able to get there. And we don't get there alone. We're not an island. There are people just like you, Vanessa. There are people
Hmm.
like me that are guiding you guys into being able to help you be able to get to that next level to make more money. What motivates you? I'm curious. What motivates you to help people make more money? You say you help people make more, like that you've helped so many people make like $10,000 a month or more. I've exceeded that. I know how exciting that is. Why did you decide you wanted to do that?
I find it exciting. The way my brain works, I can have a conversation with them or someone, they can tell me, what they love doing, and I could just put all the pieces together. And I know that I'm very creative. So when like some of my clients that are inside the accelerator, they'll bring me something, they're like, okay, I don't know how to navigate this. I'm like, oh, this is simple, blah, 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 blah. Let's do this. And so as a generator in human design, and a lot of the things, I incorporate human design in my business, a lot of the centers and all the what I'm the I guess you could say the genetic makeup of me. I'm the type of person that can connect the dots, that has constant energy to um, inspiration, creativity, and a lot of answers. And so it gets me excited. Like when people DM me, like, what do you think about this? I'm like, oh, I can give them a whole strategy. I had to
Yeah.
literally to stop myself before. I'm like, wait a minute, Vanessa, you're not a nonprofit business. You have to like,
Yeah.
I get so excited about what I do. Like I wish I could do it for
I
free,
know.
but it's really just that connection with other people and knowing that I can help, knowing that the creativity that I have access to, the expertise, the all of the experience that I've had. So I think really that just gets me so excited to be able to help someone and then see them say like, oh my God, I made this. Like, thank you so much. And I always have to remind them, like, look, I just gave you the idea. You did the work. So
Yeah. I love that. I love that. It's just like pointing them to their genius.
yes. Yeah, and
'Cause a
kind of
lot of times they can't
reminding
see it.
them. Exactly, or they're like, "Oh, no, that's like that." I'm like, "No, this is your like thing. This is your zone of genius where you're gonna make the money and just let's just do it." And so I
Yeah.
find that when people work with me, I get them so excited about their business, so they get energized. So I can't work with people that don't get excited to work about their business or anything like that. That I repel them. You know what I mean? Like the people that are like,
Yes.
heck yeah, let's just do this. I
Yes.
attract those people a lot. They're like, okay, we're gonna do this, and they're action takers. So I love that.
Yeah. Oh, I
Hmm.
love that. I know that sometimes in the beginning, I don't attract some of those people. Sometimes when people first run into me, they're just like, they're angry at me or they're mad at me because, like you said, I am a for-profit business. I'm making over
Hmm.
20K a month here. So you know what? If you want to be able to learn the things that I've learned, there are going to be some pieces of it that are going to cost money because
Hmm.
that's how I continue to make money. But there are some people, they get so mad. They're like, oh, this should be free. This should, but then they start investing in slow amounts. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, like this is gold. This is amazing. And then it gives them the
Yeah.
momentum to move. Um, and I love being able to attract both groups of people that are really excited to move forward with their business and those people that they're like, I'm not sure. I'm scared to spend money. Because we're really scared in the beginning when we start our business.
Hmm.
We are scared to invest because we don't understand what investing means.
Hmm.
Investing does not mean that I am spending my money carelessly. Investing means that the information I'm learning is probably going to make more money or help me grow in some kind of way that is going to take me to the next level. What are your thoughts when it comes to investing?
So, funny story. When I was 14, so I live in Texas, and I desperately wanted to become a Tejano singer. Remember Selena? Did you ever hear
Yeah.
Selena? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was 14, and I convinced my father to send me to Corpus. We used to live in Corpus, but we had moved to Houston, so I had to convince him to send me back to Corpus so I can go to her studio and ask her father for a record or a record label or whatever, a record deal. So 14 years old, it's nighttime. I just flew in. My uncle picked me up. My uncle, my aunt picked me up. I went and knocked on the door. Her father, Mr. Catania, AD, he opens the door and he's like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "Mr. Catania, I really want a record deal and I really want to sing like Selena." So he's like, "Okay, Mija, come in." He showed us around. He was so nice, showed us around. And then we went into the studio. He's like, "Okay, sing for me." So I started singing one of Selena's songs, and not even two lyrics in, he like stopped me. He goes like, puts up his hand, puts his finger in his ear, and he's like, "Mija, it takes money to make money. I suggest that you invest in singing lessons." That was like awful because I don't know why my dad sent me there. I was the most horrible singer. Anyway, to answer your question, I believe that yes, I love investing in myself. That right there, that was like just a pivotal moment in as a 14-year-old to get the lesson that investing in what you're passionate about, what you're excited about is so important because you want to sharpen that skill. You want to really solidify, just prove to yourself in a way, I guess, or just like, what do they call it? Whenever you have you have to prove that it's, I forget the word. I don't even know. I'm forgetting the phrase.
Bible?
No. You have to basically you have to validate a product, right? And so
Yeah.
I feel like that whenever you're investing in yourself, you're validating all your expertise. You're kind of like bringing it all together. And so I just don't understand how I could be at the level that I'm at, and just not just like business wise, but just the mindset and the growth that I desire to experience even more. I know that I've grown a lot, but I also know that there's also room for improvement. So I would owe that to like having the mentality of like I'm worthy of investing in myself.
Yeah, I love it.
So,
I
sorry, that's
love it.
a long story, but it's so funny. I was like, I still remember that. I was like, how embarrassing.
But I think that is such a great lesson for everybody to kind of hear, because we just think that, like, if I just walk on in, that people are just going to see our value immediately and then want to pay us for that, not realizing that there are some skills that we still need to learn in order to get where it is that we want to be able to go. Right. And so if I am sitting here and I'm like, well, I want to be a online tutor, but I'm scared to pay the PayPal fee and the Stripe fee, right? Like, you're focusing on the wrong
Yeah.
things at that point in time, right? Like, I see like the PayPal fee and the Stripe fee as my personal assistant who is taking care of all of the payments for me so that I don't have to worry about it. So that I can focus on doing more of the teaching and the tutoring and more of working with tutors in their business than focusing on handling all of the payments. It's automatically done every month, every transaction. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to place my hands on it. That is like hiring my own personal assistant. So sometimes we just have to like put like, what is the value to this and how is it going to help take me to the next level? Or how can I make more money because of this or this resource or this tool? Now we have some people inside of the community that they begin investing in absolutely everything. And it's like it's going haywire. They're going to get somebody to do their website. They're going to get somebody to do their SEO. They're going to get somebody to do this and this and this. Like every little thing that they can possibly like outsource, they're outsourcing. And then they're sad when they don't get the results. And they're like, but you told me to invest. Have you ever run into clients like this before?
All the time.
Yeah.
And before we started recording, what I was telling you is that yes, I like to bring the spiritual side and the brain science and the woo part into my business about tapping into your intuition. But I also, the other half of that is the logical part about being practical, about looking at your numbers. And so inside my CEO, my Profitable CEO Accelerator, I have my people look at their margins. I'm like, okay, what's coming in, what's coming out? Like, let's really make sure that you're getting a return on your investment, like not just your money, but your time and your energy. So your focus, like we need to make sure that we are tightening this thing up, because if you want the time freedom and you want the financial freedom, then we can't be spreading everything everywhere. We have to like have a tight ship. And that is how you're going to be able to grow and then even scale your business later on. So absolutely. It's like, you got to, I teach what is called the balanced work week. And there's 3 hats that I tell people that you have to wear. It's the CEO hat where you're planning, you're looking at the things strategically. You have your goddess hat where you're relaxing your nervous system, you're meditating, you're taking care of your number one asset, which is you. And then you have your doer day where you're taking the action on the plan that you came up with. And so I really do see that there's a comprehensive way to approach your business, and it's not spreading your money or time or energy everywhere.
Right. Yes. It's so critical. Yeah, that is one of the things that I have people do. I think it's at level 4, level 3 or level 4. I say, hey, take a look at every single one of your subscriptions that you have. And I want you to analyze which ones are you using, which ones are you not using. Get rid of the ones you're not using, because that is a waste of money if you're not actually using them and they're not helping you with your business. Especially now with AI. We were talking about AI too, like right before this. And there's an AI for everything, but there's also a subscription AI for everything. Right? Like they all come with a subscription fee, because they're like, hey, we're helping you with your business this way or that way. And you're like, oh, how many of these AI tools can I possibly
Yep.
purchase? How many can I actually use? I love that you really get down to the numbers with people, because that is when it comes to really tightening things up inside of our business. It's what does allow that extra time freedom. We're not going all over the place of, I'm tutoring all these different things. I have all these different passive income streams. I have all of this stuff. It's great to have multiple income streams, but in the beginning of your business, that's not what you can focus on. I feel like you need to really focus in on building one income stream, like just build your tutoring business. Then from there, when you have, like, I kind of see it as like, those guys that have the plates that they turn on the stick. They have that. You have to get that plate turning before you can bring in another stick and take a plate and turn that around too, right? And then maybe you decide you're going to add in a third one, but you still have to make sure that plate number 1 is still turning. You have to
Yeah.
go over there. You're going to have to get the little momentum going again. And plate number 2 gives that a little momentum. Okay, now get to number 3, and now you can get number 3 going. Like, there's a process to it. And when you set everything up properly, then you begin to have a lot more of that time freedom that everybody is wishing that they had inside of their life. I love
Mhm.
it. But what are your future plans with your business? Do you have for Vanessa Ann Miller? What do you see in the next 5 or 10 years of your business?
Ooh, I'm glad you asked me that. So I started slowly telling people my plan, but my big picture plan is to have a gym-like place, but it's for entrepreneurs. It's not for necessarily working out, but it's like a big co-working place where there's workshops hosted in different rooms. There is a wellness center where you can work out, you can do meditation, you can do all the things, but it's basically, so right now I have a program in Houston called the CEO Lab where we meet in person, but it's like what I imagine is a big ass facility where all these women entrepreneurs are coming together to network and have co-working. I can't even articulate how I can't even describe it, but it's just a beautiful picture that I have. And so, yeah, like I have it like mapped out on social media. I was like, okay, this is what I want. It's going to have a daycare. So that way, when women are working on their business and maybe they're going to like a little co-working area, they know that their kid is safe in the daycare. And it's not going to be a daycare that's $1,200 a month. It's going to be, something very feasible. It's going to be a lot of resources and guidance and just any kind of tools to help women grow their businesses efficiently without having to sacrifice time with their loved ones, with their children and all the things. So it's kind of, yeah, it's a big, I don't know, I think it's like a big gym mall. My gym is called the Lifetime Fitness Gym. So it's like really, really big. And I think of it like a mix of that, mix of a mall, like even a place. I'm sorry, I'm going off. Like, I'm so excited about this. Like even like a little shop where they can go and do branded photos and stuff like that. Like,
Yes.
just like a one-stop shop mall slash gym for a woman who wants to take care of her business and herself. So yeah.
Yes, I love that. And there's nothing that exists like that, and it's totally needed in this day and age. So I think that's absolutely fantastic. I know there's a lot of tutors that, they're managing trying to like watch their kids and tutor online and do all of that, but to have like their own space and then have a place for their kids to safely go as well. I think that could be a really, really beautiful thing inside. That's an amazing, amazing, amazing vision. Yeah, I picture doing like more retreats. So I do this twice a year. I do a retreat where I have tutors get together and we focus on their business where they're at. And then sometimes we throw in like photo shoots, and sometimes we throw in, just like hanging out together and just having me time, like kind of spa days and that kind of stuff. I'd love to be able to grow that further and have even more people coming, because that just really jazzes me. I just came back from my last one, and the women that joined me were just phenomenal and had a blast. And it's so amazing when we get to know people on this extra level, right? Of getting to
Mhm.
know them in person, not just online. It really makes it so much more enjoyable. So I love this. And I know you have a really great tool that tutors can access on your website. I'm going to put the link inside of the description. It's the CEO Audit Workbook. Can you tell everybody a little bit about this workbook?
Yeah, so it has a lot of journal prompts in there to help you tap into your intuition, your wisdom, and it asks you these questions that sometimes we don't want to face. And as you're writing them, and I include a meditation, so you get into meditative state and then you're writing. And what you'll notice is that sometimes there are things that your subconscious wants to share with you, but you're unwilling to see it. And so going through that workbook is really helpful. There's a part one and part two in the workbook. And then the next part is to help you establish your balanced work week so you can organize your schedule. You can have more stability when it comes to your action plan, because you have these days set up in a way where it really honors your mind, body, and soul. So you can check that out. And that actually,
Mm.
just that workbook right there, helped me increase my business revenue by 3,000%. So I was like, I got to share this with other people then.
Oh my gosh, how generous of you. That is amazing. Like I am definitely downloading it, you guys. So definitely check it out and use it. Okay. Don't be a passive learner, be an active learner. Go through,
Yes.
do the activities, and see how it can change your business. We are all here to support you guys. You have a team of people. You are not an island, okay? So tap into the people who've come before you to help you out with your business. That is why we are here. Yes, we also make money in being able to support people, right? When it comes to it. And there's no shame in that. You know what? There is an unlimited amount of money out there for everyone. So when you guys can change your mindset about there being lack or a limited amount, or don't you see this on the news, or don't you know what's happening in the world, get rid of those, reframe it, just like Vanessa mentioned, and be able to turn that thinking upside down so that you can make the money that it is that you want. Our goal, Vanessa and our goal is to empower you. You guys got this. If you don't know what your level is yet, definitely check out the link inside of the description so you can find out and play the game of tutoring with us. So that's what it's called. It's called the game of tutoring. You'll get to find out what your level is, and then you'll be able to level up your journey every time you reach a certain income goal, or every time you reach 80% completion of your checklist. So I'm excited to play the game of tutoring. I'm excited for you guys to download the workbook, the CEO audit workbook from Vanessa. You guys, we are here to help you. I can't wait to see the kind of success you guys get. Please keep sending me your success stories. I love hearing them, because it's what continues to drive Vanessa and I. It drives us to hear your success stories. It drives us to keep wanting to be more successful ourselves so that we can help show to you how to get to that next level. So thanks for joining us today, and enjoy the rest of your day, you guys.